Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. You have reached the Sideline Junkies with a special healing tree moment for two disgruntled fans. It is me, it's the Midnight Rider, your boy Ben Conti. It is he, the guy, Delonte Rogers. What's your nickname, D?
The man, the myth, the legend, I think.
There it is. Only can be said by the man himself, because I can't say it any better. So today we just have a special moment. It's a tree of trust. You're looking at a Broncos fan on one side, you're looking at a Commanders fan on the other side, and today just wasn't our day. You know what I'm saying? We're marked safe from the atrocities that our football teams have put on display. So let's just come ahead and kind of just jump right into it. Post game, Broncos, Miami, 70-20. I don't think 70's been dropped since that infamous 73-42 by the 73-0 by the Bears. But it may have been one in that time frame. So I apologize if I'm wrong, but Delonte, just go ahead and just let it out, man. Just it's a tree of trust. You're safe here. It's a safe space. Let your feelings out. And, we'll hug or virtually hug at the end of this, man.
I think in a nutshell, what happened was I think they gave up. I think the defense gave up. I follow Broncos news very closely. Although we're here in DC, Maryland, northern V8 area. I follow Broncos news very closely. Have made quite a few good friends out there, so I'm able to get the news. I believe some of those players, well, before today's game, they had already checked out on Vance Joseph and his whole concept, and his the coaching, things of that nature. There's a lot of waving him off in practice, what have you. It showed in the game. It showed in a 68-yard touchdown run, which they look like they just stepped to the side. The 70-yard bomb that Pat Surtain got burnt on. He looked human today, and he's supposed to be like a top 3 cornerback in the league. He got cooked. He got cooked. Russ actually played decent again. Russ actually been, I would say he's been cooking, but he's been playing decent this year. I could sense a fix of sorts from Coach Payton, but it's just we need more. Cortland, 2 fumbles. Are you serious? And then you trying to razzle dazzle dance, nigga? This ain't Soul Train. Excuse my language, y'all. This is not Soul Train. This is football. You know what I'm saying? This is football. Judy, I don't know if he's on a minutes restriction or what have you, but yeah, he had a 46-yard catch, but the game was long over. I think that the Dolphins might have had their 70 already. Speaking of 70, I do have to give props to Coach McDaniel from Miami. He grew up as a Denver fan, and he had enough class to not go for the record. They could, they were right there. All you had to do is kick a field goal. You have 73, but he had enough class to just kind of just down the ball and not score anymore. So I got to give props to him. Tua, he did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? Our defense isn't good, so he took advantage. The 2 running backs, the rookie and I forgot the other dude.
Javonte Williams.
No, Miami's run.
Devon Achane.
Yeah, they put in that work. Tyreek, he did his thing early, and he was like, man, these dudes some chumps. Which we were. We played like some chumps. Marvin Mims, he's a bright spot. Rookie, the 99-yard kickoff return. And he had a big return. I want to say he was either against.
He had a return against us, or big catch against us.
Yeah, big. Yep. And then he had the big touchdown. So he's a bright spot. But man, it's Vance. They got to fire him today. I think our general manager.
So do you think it's a coordinator problem, or you think it's a head coach problem?
No, it's a coordinator problem. There's a huge disconnect. There's a huge disconnect. So they just yeah, they threw in the white towel, the white flag, what have you. Quit. They step it to
So,
the side. They letting people make these long runs, padding up their stats. This was a statement game, but not a good statement game.
so do you think like the comments early on about Hackett and how Hackett didn't have things in place, and now all of a sudden Peyton is the general now of the team? Do you think that's had some kind of effect on this team? Because it doesn't look like it looks like you guys get started well, but you don't stay in the game.
Right. I would say yeah. I mean, it was probably more so of a culture problem. Yeah, we got new ownership. Shout out to Walmart, as I call them. Got new ownership. Um, they did put our general manager on notice, like, dude, you better get this right, or you can, kiss your job goodbye. I mean, he could pretty much kiss his job goodbye at this point, because look at our defensive personnel. Like, that's, what I'm saying. That's just it's a total bad marriage. It's a train wreck.
Well, you
But
have.
it's
I'm
hmm?
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, keep going. Keep going.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's just for me, man. I believe it's a culture issue. It's a culture issue, and I don't think it's going to get better until we fully embrace a rebuild. I This season I don't see us winning no more than 2 games, to be honest. And I'm not even I'm not even exaggerating. I think Russell played decent, but he'll probably be back next year. But we got to get that kid from USC. You know what I'm saying?
So then you can't have. I mean, if you're going that route, I don't. You can't have Russell back. Like you have
Oh, I know.
to. You have to like end that marriage at that point
Oh
and
yeah.
go full fledged into the kid.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So
Hey,
so
hey.
I play mostly fantasy. I
Mm-hmm.
look at a guy like Cortland Sutton, and I feel like he is a guy that's in between. He's not a 1. I don't know if he's a 2. I really think
Mm-hmm.
he's in between. I think he's a 2.5. Like he's a C plus average wide receiver because he doesn't have the great speed to separate. He doesn't make great plays. From your standpoint as a Broncos fan, what do you see in Cortland Sutton, or what don't you see in Cortland Sutton?
I'm gonna be honest that I don't want to be harsh. At first, I
No, no,
saw.
no. Be harsh because you started out
Oh,
going hard.
okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna say this. I believe he may be washed early.
Right,
I do know he had the torn ACL.
right.
And he kind of hesitated to come back. After that, he was playing a little timid, but I think his best days might be ahead of him already. He can probably go to a team and come off the bench. What I'm saying. It'll be like a third or fourth option. But if I was the general manager, I would build a receiving corp around Mims and Judy.
Do you think Mims gets enough touches or enough plays in the
No,
ball game?
hell no. Took like 2 receptions, and then he even had a monster catch today. And
Right.
I'm like, yo, utilize this kid, man. Like this kid is ready. He's game ready. This ain't KJ Hamler. This ain't
Mm.
This ain't Cortland
Tim,
Sutton.
Tim Patrick, right?
Yeah, this ain't Tim Patrick. This kid is ready. He got the
So,
pedigree. He's ready.
so you said 2 ball games. So I mean, are you done? I'm not gonna say done, but you're pretty much thinking that this team doesn't have a way to get back, a way to fix this, unless you fire the D coordinator.
I'm gonna say this, and I know it's extremely early. If we don't win, who we play? Next week we play against the Bears, and what people on my Twitter feed are calling the Bum Bowl. If we don't win
Right.
the Bum Bowl next week, yeah, it's time, bro. It's time.
All right, so let's get into that because you say you listen to a lot of Denver media
Mm-hmm.
and conversations that those people have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know I listen to some Cleveland radio as well as Commanders radio, so I know
Mm-hmm.
what the narratives are about the Browns. But what's the narratives about the Broncos that we're missing out on?
So the players are always saying we're right there. That's
Mhm.
like I've been hearing that for the last 6 years. We're
Right,
right there. We're this close. You know what I'm saying? Nah, y'all more like that close.
that
You know what I'm
close.
saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like from PG County to I'm gonna be nice to Anne Arundel County. Like that far. You know,
Mm-hmm.
instead of in the Anne Arundel County. But yeah, and then the players say that, but then the media was like, I don't think so. I think you guys need to embrace a rebuild, and that's been our biggest issue with our culture. We haven't embraced a rebuild.
Right.
That's it.
So coming out of this Russell Wilson trade, everything that you got back for us, was it enough? Was it not enough? Um, do you as a fan feel cheated in this exchange?
Um,
Uh-oh, I think I lost him. So it looks like BJ said in the comment, oh, there you go. It might be me. So I don't know. Just keep talking. I don't have any sound on your side. But BJ says the players in Denver don't like somebody. Players just don't quit like that. And that's true. That's a very true statement. It seems like when it comes to Denver in the second half, there's a button that they push or something that happens where these guys aren't executing, they aren't playing, they aren't the snuff. And if you're a fan of the Denver Broncos, this is for my guys like Clarence Jeter, Aaron Wade, you got to be frustrated at this point. It's got to be a thing where something's going on. They don't know what the fix is. You thought the fix was Russell Wilson, but obviously that's not the fix. There's something else going on. And I felt like going into this season, there was an issue because when you have Sean Payton come out and try to be so disciplinarian, I feel like he turned off some players in the midst of all. And I feel like that moment is when he lost part of the room. It's not a thing of like we're not in the days of Bill Parcells when you can just come out and say, this is my team, this is what we do, we're doing it this way and the only way. No bucket hats, no sunglasses, don't take off your pads when you. I mean, that's too disciplinarian for this day and age. And I think it seems like it's a disconnect. And I think he's living in that disconnect. What do you think, man? So yeah, I'm totally there. I mean, I think the disconnect is because you don't have anything on the Peyton side that's connecting to the players. Like he never ingratiated himself to the players. I felt like he came in and thought, yeah, I got a pass, and my pass is what I'm living off of. And because what I did in New Orleans and what I've done in my career, I get to come in here and dictate the tempo. I get to dictate to you what's good, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. And I think that causes a problem with your players in the long run because they don't feel engaged. They don't feel like you're valuing their opinion. So to this extent, or to a certain extent, I think they gave up on them. They feel like they're never going to be heard. They're never going to have their say or their agenda pushed. So at this point, you're going to just sit there and have to deal with whatever Sean Payton feels like it is in this world. That's about it for the Broncos and the Dolphins. I mean, score was 70-20. There was a bunch of long runs. There was a bunch of big plays given up. And to be honest with you, I don't know if Denver had a chance at any point in this ball game, to be honest. It felt like that Miami came out. Miami had a plan. And I think Miami scored 21 points on each. I mean, they scored touchdowns on each of their first three drives. And basically, Denver was just in the way. Denver was there getting their participation trophy. KG, if you can switch me over to the Commanders versus the Buffalo Bills, please. All right, folks. So normally my man KG or the boss BJ will be with me in this segment, but I'm flying solo. So from a Buffalo standpoint, I think as a Buffalo Bills fan, if you're a fan of the Bills, you have to walk out of this game feeling comfortable. You have to feel like your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator put together two great plans to put this team over the top. And before I start going any further, Delonte, go ahead, turn your mic on You got any final words on this Broncos thing before I move into the Commanders and the Bills?
Fire events. I would begin the fire sale. I mean, Russ has a massive contract, so stuck with him.
So what?
And
All right, let's stay there. So
mhm.
if you can think about it off the top of your head, just what are some options in this fire sale? Are you fire selling Javonte Williams?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
We got to keep him. Our offense is actually decent. It's the defense. We need some good edge rushers because Randy Gregory, he's one of the ones who've been mouthing off, according to
Mm-hmm.
Denver media. He's been mouthing off and he's been defiant. Um, I think we need to let go of Josie Jewell. And Mathis, our CB2.
Okay.
Yeah, he got to go. I mean, he needs to be benched. He's not ready, man. He's not ready.
It looks like the boss in the comments said that I'm Sean Payton. I don't need to connect with y'all. And that's true. I mean, it looks like a team that is not connected at all. It looks like KG's in the comments as well. Hold on, let me go back. So first and foremost, the proper introduction for Mr. Rogers is the man that our tower of power, too sweet to ever be sour, Delonte Rogers. So I apologize for that because I didn't get it right.
It's all good.
Then we're going to, he said 72-41, Redskins over Giants. 73-0 doesn't count because it was a championship game. And then if we missed this, and I didn't say it, the players in Denver don't like somebody. Players just don't quit like that. So we're kind of caught up to date on the comments. Just give me a final word on that, on the on the Miami situation, and then we're going to move on to the Bills and the Commanders.
My final thoughts is we got a clean house. Like if it wasn't indication enough, today's game should serve as that. It's time for us to fully embrace the rebuild, and you should start from scratch, man.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and kick on over to Commanders versus Bills. I'm gonna let you start off your thoughts because I don't know if you watched the game locally or not, or you didn't watch. You was watching Denver. Oh, I'm sorry.
I watched the monstrosity, man.
Ooh.
I did peep Sam Howell. He had a I ain't even gonna be corny and say that, but
he had a couple picks.
Yeah. I peeped it.
So I feel like early, honestly, they were down 10-0. They were at the goal line. I felt like Ron should have took the points there just to get points on the board. 10-3 looks a lot better than 10-0. They went forward, they missed it. And then Sam Howell just became a kid playing against a defense that has played together for an eternity. Like Buffalo's system is perfect. And their corners and their DBs, their safeties, they work hand in hand. And here's BJ with a comment, left hand up. Who are we, Commanders? Ha ha. I love it. But I think 4 interceptions. I think he had 1 pick six. He should have had 2. Because Micah Hyde should have had a pick 6 on that. And then they had a couple turnovers. He was sacked a bunch of times. This kid's gonna need an Epsom salt bath for real. For real. I mean, he took a pounding today that no one should have taken. I feel like this is one of those games that you should have expected. You got a rookie QB. You got a kid that's playing in only his 5th start or 4th start, and you have a team that plays a great scheme. And I think they just came out and abused them. Here we go again. The Bills surprisingly held. This is again BJ. If you can get that for me, KG, on the screen. The Bills surprisingly held the Washington D-line quiet as hell. And for example, I think a couple times my man Chase Young, he took the route around. So instead of making an inside move or holding his leverage, I think he went around a couple times too many. So it looked like in my screen he kept getting pushed around the quarterback. And of course, I can't properly comment on that because I need the all 22 to confirm that. Hit the next one. I picked the wrong Bills linebacker. This is my quote during the game because I picked Matt Milano, and I thought Matt Milano would have the game of his life today. And it appeared that the other linebacker, BJ, help me out with the other linebacker's name. I saw it on the screen, but I'm missing it right now. KG, hit me with Thomas's comment. I feel like we learn and grow together from this list today, this game today. And Thomas, you can say it better, man. I think this was a game where you know where you are now. You're not in the elite, but you're not in the garbage can either. So you're somewhere in the middle. And so now you got to figure out and take today and build on today. You can't let today be something where you collapse. Like you have to take the moment, live in it. If there's a post game, there it is. In the post game, you gotta tell your guys, hey, they let us up. No, they woke us up. I think Ron has a saying like, what is it? Don't live in the entertaining, be in the interesting, or something like that. I'm gonna mess the quote up, so I'm gonna get off of that bandwagon. But BJ just said it. It's Terrell Bernard. I think the kid had an interception, a fumble recovery, a sack. That's like 30 fantasy points. And I picked Milano. And Milano was the quiet one today. But Bernard showed out and showed up. If he's in the top 100, I'm going to hate watching that episode where he's in like the top 100 or whatever, because he's going to be the guy that every time they show a clip, honestly, it's going to be this game today. He may not have any other clips besides today's ball game because of the way he played. Am I giving up on Sam Howell? No. This is a rookie game. This is a game where I felt like the kid came in, he played well, but I think there's some things that Eric Bieniemy has to adjust on. I think one, he has to get here we go. He has to get Dotson involved more because for some reason Dotson is not showing up in the playlist. Looks like the boss says he's gonna send Antonio Gibson some chocolates. But what's the good of sending him chocolates if he's going to just fumble it on the floor and leave him on the ground? So that might not be good for Antonio Gibson unless he lives by the 5-second rule. But today was a disappointing day, but it was a day where if you're a Commanders fan, you learn some things about your ball club. You learn that you can't keep getting down early in ball games. You have to show up early. You have to be able to make offense happen. And then the other thing is you have to take advantage of points. You don't have the luxury of passing up 3 points to go get 7. You have to get the 3 and then move on from that. I don't understand why Jahan Dotson wasn't included in the game plan. It seems like he should get more targets, but for some reason he's not. And I literally thought that at the beginning of the season, this was going to be the kid that he was going to get he was going to split the majority of the targets with Terry McLaurin. And even McLaurin had limited targets today. It seemed like this team just never got a rhythm. They never got involved. They did move the football, but they never did anything to get Sam comfortable. And I said it early in our group chat that I felt like they should have gone to a couple screens earlier on second down situations instead of waiting to third down or waiting until later in the ball game. Go ahead and hit me with Thomas's comment, KG. Yes, and guys, please relax. Sam is only in his second year, but we have started without a lead, so we shouldn't always be behind or shouldn't play from behind. And go with BJ. The Commanders were still in the game for a good portion of that game. They weren't consistent moving the football. You're absolutely right. I think Brian Robinson, getting to this, he said Robinson should have more touches. I totally agree with this. I think Robinson had 10 rushes for 70 yards. So you're running the ball at a 7-yard clip. And I think this is where Eric Bieniemy has to figure out that fine line between doing what you want to do, almost getting into his Bobby Brown mode, having his prerogative, and getting to a point where he's the offensive coordinator. And sometimes you got to get off of my prerogative and get to what's best for the team. And I think running the ball a little bit more with Robinson and calling some different runs. I don't like some of the runs they do with the first down where it's the stretch out of the shotgun. I think we need to get in the eye. I think honestly they need to make the tight end kid Amra available on game day, and they need to get in some I formation situations and literally run the ball from the I formation. That's going to solve some of these problems. That's what's going to put this team over in the run game because they've run the ball well. And I totally agree. He should have 20 plus touches easily. And because he doesn't, this team just struggles. And they struggle keeping the ball and keeping possession. We got to figure something out. And even though Gibson gave up the ball on his merry-go-round, whatever he was doing, cuts and everything, but we didn't see Chris Rodriguez today. And I think this was a game where we should have gotten some Rodriguez in. They got to figure something out. If you're a person that believes that Gibson keeps giving it up like a cheap hooker on a Friday night, then we gotta make a move. They gotta make a move. And Thomas said he totally agrees with me. I appreciate that because this team is too talented to lose a ball game 37-3. It shows me that you're there, but you're not there because you don't know what it takes. And you got to get this young kid on the right plan and on the right plane to get you going, to keep you moving forward. Because this is the guy. And if you have the patience with this guy, he's going to be your guy for 17 weeks this season. You got to figure out what's good for him and what's not good for him. Eric in the week said he gives the kid plays and he allows them to pick certain plays to empower him. Well, now we got to do something else. We got to take the next step. We got to empower not just him, but we got to also empower our O-line because our O-line is getting beat bad right now. They're getting beat up. They're getting dominated. And it's not just a Leno thing. And maybe it's the kid holding the balls too much or too long. And I totally think the kid should take some moments to take the profit is what I'll say. So, and if anybody knows me, I'm not a guy that loves to check the football down. But I think in this situation, he has to take the profit over the big game. He has to get himself in short and manageable. But then also, he can't fall in love with that because I think on a couple of occasions, that interception on the Gibson drive right after the 2-minute warning, where he threw the interception to Poyer, or maybe it was Micah Hyde. In that situation, he threw that interception and it was just like, it looked like they were sitting. It looked like they were sitting on everything across short. More 3-step quick passes, run the ball to set up play action. I think the second half of that is perfect. I think they did too much 3-step. I felt like they didn't threaten Buffalo deep, and at no point was Buffalo concerned about it. The only time you threatened them was that one fly to Curtis Samuel up the sideline on like the third or fourth drive, but then you didn't attack them anymore. You had a couple big plays to Cole Turner. So all in all, 37-3. If you're a Commanders fan, don't hang your head. When you go to work, don't be scared to put your left hand up and say, "Who are we?" This is a situation where this team is growing. And right now, this is one of the bumps that you take as a young team growing all together. And you're not going to have the results that you want every week. So now you lick your wounds, you watch the film, you get Philly next week. I think we're at Philly, if memory serves me correctly. And that's the game you got to win. And if you can be 3-1 going against Chicago on Thursday night, I think you're fine. I think you're in good position. If you're not in that situation, thanks, BJ. It was hot. I thought so. But the problem is your safeties, they are so identical. Like they could almost, if they were twins, I wouldn't notice the difference because they're built the same. They are the same player for the most part. It's very smart guys, not overly fast, but they are so intelligent that they see the play developing beforehand. And here we go, Thomas. I'm right here with you, brother. Time to put the work boots on. Get on the Philly with a good game plan. I really don't know if I would watch too much of this film. If I'm watching it with Sam, telling them the things that he didn't do right. Hey, you gotta get rid of the ball quicker. You gotta take this profit here to the back of the flat. You gotta take that crossing route. You gotta take that curl. You can't stare this down out here. And I think that's going to help the kid. But if you're thinking about playing Brissett, you're on the wrong team. You're on the wrong organization, because this isn't going to be better. This ball club right now, the way we're set up, this is something for Howell. We got to build. And if you're not building with Howell, then your next step is building with a first-round draft pick quarterback that you take in next year's draft. There's no bridge to Brissett that's going to make this team work better or get better results, in my opinion. And I can be wrong, and I might be wrong. But that's just how I, the Midnight Rider, feel. So for those of you that jumped in the comments, BJ, Thomas, for Delonte, for KG running the board, I want to say thank you to all of you. This is our Commanders/Broncos postgame show. I appreciate you guys coming out and supporting. If you missed the show, you always check us out on YouTube. Make sure you click like and subscribe. But that's pretty much our show for tonight. We're going to be the Commanders fans looking on forward to the Eagles. And I think the Broncos, whoever they have next, that's their mission. And I hope we can figure this thing out. Get ready for Misery Monday, because we lost today. BJ, good job for your team winning today and basically putting us in our place. So for myself, the Midnight Rider, Delonte, the man behind the glass, KG, as they always say, we don't do no overtime. We are out of here.